if he does have it in hand. Which I don't see actually, but he does have two zero cost events, looks like.
Yeah, let's say it looks like now that I have the better angle, it does look like the two events he has in hand are the bad manners.
So he was bluffing the Red Hawk, which is something that Shanks likes to do here.
It's smart to do with the Kuzan on board, so to speak. It just in the sense of now Sheki wants to play the Sabo.
And looks like Sheki is going to start with a potential 9K swing here with the Moria.
I think it's me personally, it's something I would start off with just to get a judge of the hand, see what they do.
And he's opting to swing at the Rayleigh, which is a good option here because. Oh, no, not the Rayleigh. I thought it was the Rayleigh. Opts to go to life, potentially just pressuring Kieran here, which is scary because Shanks does run Goldie Rogers. I know it's typically a one of or a two of, but that is an alt win con that the deck does have.
And personally, I've played against Kieran before. I do believe he does run at least one. Let's see, what does he have available to him? So we see a bunch of the little brothers in hand as well as a Flampe. So he does have an Awakener available if he wants to go for it. We're going for the 5-drop Luffy and a
And a
Sabo.
Sabo.
All right. Ooh, a Rygo off the top.
Ends up pitching that baby Luffy.
Let's see. I think he would want to hold on to the Rygo here for when that 10-drop Shanks comes down. You kind of want to get rid of that.
Yeah, and that's what Sheki is considering here, deciding what to pitch. I believe that might be Hiyori there that he's considering on pitching. Yep,
Yep.
pitches a 2K.
Pitching a 2K means he's confident in what he has available, and I mean he has that 3 life, so he's not too scared right now. I'd say.
Yeah, and the Raigo is there just in case he does have to do the ability to get rid of the Shanks.
Hopefully he doesn't have to in a way that costs him the 2 life. Hopefully, if anything, if he's confident in his board state, he might take the 2 swings, maybe even just one. Uh, 1 or 2 swings that come at him to get him down to the 1 life, and then use the Rygo confidently that way, and knowing he has the Flampe to do the awakening. Um, though it wouldn't leave him too many options, as that would be a 7 down turn if he did both in 1 turn.
Yeah. And you do see Kieran here swinging 5 with the Shanks. Checky deciding whether he wants to take the life, give him the blocker, or a 1K from hand.
So this is smart by Kieran here because he's already poking at the hand without any Don commitment, and he has these big bodies still that are going to come at Sheki's life. Leaving all of his Don up, giving him the option to drop the either Rush Shanks, maybe the Goldie Roger if he has it.
Mm-hmm. Although Sheki does have him in a position where playing a 10-drop Shanks is not the ideal play here for Kieran.
True, it will leave him in a detrimental state. Kieran, we did see the Lucky Root earlier. Perhaps he will try and be on the defensive. With Sheki being at 3 life, you're not too worried about that Rocket Luffy being in trash, just due to the fact that he can't put it in his life anymore, or
Mm-hmm.
at this point.
At this point, maybe try to put some pressure on this Moria here. Continue to dwindle Sheki's hand. And looks like he's opting to swing to face here. 6.
And you also have to be wondering what's on Kieran's mind, because again, we saw Sheki pitch a 2K off of the Sabo effect.
That is true. And now he's swinging with the 7 with this Ben Beckman. Sheki confidently taking these cards. Does have a decent hand size. Has 1 blocker Sabo and goes with a Dragon.
Ooh, okay.
On play will give 2 Don to the Dragon itself. So now we'll swing for an 11K swing.
We're going to see 2 9s come here from the Rayleighs,
And looks
and
like he's
then the
opting to
11
go at
from
the
the Dragon.
Moria. Or does he continue to pressure life here? Yep. So 9K does see the Egghead Luffy. Considered on using the ability, but there's nothing to pop on Kieran's side of the field. So swinging another 9 here, it's going to require Sheki to give him 3 cards or the Sabo. Countering out of this swing is what he's going to need to do, and then using the Sabo to block the Dragon.
All right, two 2Ks.
And it's gonna have to give him one more card, which is looks like to be the Sabo there.
Yeah, I think ideally it's the Sabo or the.
Oh, they
Oh, I
got
was
Luffy.
thinking the Nami, if not the Sabo, but the Rocket Luffy. Okay.
Yep, and the dragon goes through getting blocked by the Sabo here. Sheki, I believe, now has a Moria in hand, but has to potentially go lethal this turn. If not, he's in a pretty bad spot. Especially if Kieran can establish another 10 rush.
I think potentially even without the 10 rush here, all the if for some I won't say it for some reason. If Sheki's able to go to a 9K leader with blockers right now, everything on this board, or mostly everything on this board, is swinging at his life with just one Don commitment, minus the Beckman and the Marco. But at that point, because everything only requires one Don or no Don, it's not that hard to allocate your resources enough to make sure everything can swing.
That is true. And then no need for the 10 rush shanks.
Mhm.
And looks like he's potentially considering on swinging with his fist loopy here for 8.
All right, so let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Was it 5 in the hand of Kieran?
Kieran has 7.
7?
Sheki has the dice for us.
Oh, you are right. You're right. Such a helpful man over here on stream. So, all right, let's see. So we see the 2K courses. We know there's a Lucky Roo. And he took one of his life, which means he has one of the 2Ks from life that
Mhm.
were there earlier.
And ends up swinging 8. Ends up giving him the bad manners kick course and using leader ability there.
Yeah, leader ability had to be used there.
So down to 5 cards in hand there for Kieran. We do know he's got one more 0 cost event. And looks like he's deciding to swing 5 with the Kuzan, minusing 4 to the Dragon, which is now in range for Egghead Luffy. Ooh, and he's using the Film Shank. So another 0 cost event and another 2K. Down to 1 card in hand. Little Garp swing.
It's not out of the it's on the table. It's on the table.
Decides to swing 7 with just the leader and
Ye-
go for game with Garp.
Game with Garp.
And Sheki
Phenomenal.
takes the win. Garp for the final blow. Absolutely insane.
Yeah, I think once we saw the 0 cost event and the 10 drop and the 2K come out, it was looking pretty detrimental.
And we're going on to the second match that is being showcased. And we have a Doflamingo mirror, Wimmy, against Jordan.
Yeah, so Wimmy's been playing Doflamingo since I believe her start in the game. This has been her main deck for a long time. Jordan, an experienced player on multiple decks, he was even at the first One Piece Nationals and was able to top there with an L. So both experienced players, both knowledgeable with this deck, as Jordan has been playing this deck since the structure deck came out. And Wimmy just been playing the deck, period.
As well as both players are a part of the Nerd Rage team.
Correct. This is another friendly fire match. Both players are on the Nerd Rage team. You again, if you go to events, especially in the Illinois, Wisconsin area, you will see these players walking around. You might even play against them.
And trying to see what's going on here. Looks like Jordan has 5 cards in hand, both at 3 life. Wimmy, I believe, is also at 6 cards.
Both at 3 life. Wimmy, bigger hand size, and a more threatening board.
Being Wimmy in this situation, I would honestly pressure Jordan's board compared to life. You want to take the pressure off so he won't be able to put the pressure on you the next turn.
Yeah, especially in my opinion, you want to definitely get that law off the board, just so if it's not potentially brought back to hand by anything, or if he does have the other law, you want one law. You don't want to be multi-lawed in one turn. It's not fun.
No, not at all. But looks like Wimmy might be contemplating on playing that Jinbei. Oh no, Boa. I did see a Jinbei, I believe.
So we see a Mihawk off the Boa, and I believe I saw a Jozu in there.
But playing this, you're walling up a bit.
Do you see what I see in the trash right now? That's a 9 cost Mihawk.
Oh.
In the trash. So we got some tech cards in here.
And you do see Wimmy attaching the rest of Don to the Jinbei and attaching the last two Don to swing 8, potentially at the Weevil. Oh, the Law.
Yeah, like I said, you want to clear these laws in the mirror match. You don't want to leave them on board. They're probably one of, besides the teach, I'd say one of the most useful and annoying tools in the deck.
Especially comboing them together.
Oh, definitely.
So it looks like Jordan does a Sengoku, ends up grabbing a Jinbei.
A confident Jinbei grab,
Didn't
so
even
he
grab the
knows what he's
full
going.
5 cards.
Yep. He knows what he's going for this turn.
So he's swinging 7 at the Law. Wimmy's blocking with the bow and giving Akaya, which is another card that I've seen Dofi players starting to use in the deck because it allows you to draw 2 trash 2 and you can bounce it with Law.
Oh, and we just see the Gravity Blade come out from Jordan with the Teach effect, and this is what we were discussing earlier. Teach allows you to Gravity Blade, use Leader effect, and still widen your board in the process, whereas Gravity Blade would normally take up an entire turn.
And you do see he established a Jinbei on the top that he just searched and plays out a Weevil from hand, drawing a card. Wimmy here is deciding whether she wants to counter out of this 7K swing or not.
Oh, Wimmy's at 4 life, not 3, so she is a little bit ahead in the sense of life right now. But yeah, this is what we were discussing earlier with the fact that Gravity Blade allows you to, one, demolish your opponent's board, widen your board if you have the Teach, and as we see the Jinbei coming into the Weevil, he replenished his hand in the process.
Yeah, and that's exactly what Jordan wanted to do here. Wimmy starting off with a leader swing, leader ability, 2 leader, ends up getting a 2-cost Teach, which is not what you really want to see here, but looks like she's opting to pressure life since Jordan doesn't have that big of a hand size, swinging 7s across the board here, bringing them down to 1 life. And
yeah, Jordan does have a wide board, but Winnie is at 4 health right now. She doesn't have a lot of cards in hand, but in this situation, if she can get Jordan low enough, all she really has to do is guard the last swing that comes at her and survive the turn.
But she leaves 1 Don up for the blocker Law that
Another
she
tech
techs
card.
in.
Another tech card.
And honestly, this can throw off a lot of people. They're expecting to just go wide, having no blocker if they don't have that boa established. But this Law for 1 Don can block anything.
Yep, and you don't want a blocker Law to get rid of like a boa, or a bounce Law to get rid of a boa. Not bad. Bounce Law to get rid of a 1-cost blocker Law.
Feels bad, but
yeah.
needs to be done.
Not really what you want to do.
But also having this 1-cost Law, it allows her to put pressure exactly how she did, swinging 7s across the board instead of, wasting 4 Don playing out a boa.
Yep, and then 1 Don to guard potentially any swing you want, right? But if Jordan were to go all 7s here, 1 Don to guard a 7K swing, we'll take that. We'll take that any day.
And Jordan's in a predicament here because if Wimmy finds Perfume, which I don't think she has currently, could find it out of life, Jordan actually needs to just pressure the board here while also attempting to establish a blocker.
Yeah, unfortunately, if Jordan can't gain control of the board, it looks like it might just be Winnie's game.
And looks like he has Perfume, a Pudding, a 2-drop Teach, I believe I saw in Jordan's hand here.
Yeah, I believe I did see another 2-drop Teach. I did see the event, but I think that was the femur. I don't think there was 2 events. Whereas
I think there is 2 events. I'm just not sure what it is.
If there's 2 events, I would have to say the other one's a Gravity Blade. I'm not seeing too many people on the Red Rock anymore. It's too niche for what you need in this current meta.
And it was used specifically for the Blackbeard 10 drops, and they're not really playing that in this matchup anymore.
No, it's too aggro. If you're playing a Teach and they're getting to their 10 drop comfortably,
you're doing something wrong.
You're doing something wrong, or you saw the worst possible hand after Mulligan that you could possibly see.
So you do see Jordan swung 6 with the Weevil. Wimmy takes it. Going up to 3 cards in hand. So potentially Jordan's trying to map out going lethal here.
If he's not going for board, he has to be mapping out lethal just for the fact of this. The crackback with no blockers right now, or even if he gets 1 blocker, it's going to be crazy.
And it looks like he's got 1 Don potentially going to swing 7 at one of the characters or just going to continue to go to face here? Potentially trying to dwindle her life all the way down and attempt to go femur.
If he's confident that he can survive the crackback, I could see him trying to get to 0 for the femur. But I'm not sure. I mean, he has 2 more swings. I mean, obviously 4 more if you count the Sengoku and the Teach, but I'm just trying to figure out what the ideal plan is here.
If he's trying to go lethal, I believe a small swing with the teach would have been more ideal. Swinging for at least 5, which is 2 Don.
Mm-hmm. All right. So it looks like he's potentially going with the 7 on the Jinbei here.
And looks like Wimi's contemplating it, but she's also sitting on, looks like,
I think she's sitting on 2 Gecko Morias, from what I can tell,
And I
which allow
think-
you to grab the cards from
a
trash.
teach which charges 1K. So there's 2K for sure. I believe another 2 cost teach, which is another 1K counter.
Looks like she's contemplating on using the blocker here rather than taking the life. I'll be honest, I don't think you're in a position where you need to use the blocker yet, because you're kind of forcing a bounce law play at this point if you don't use the blocker.
And unfortunately, it is a Weevil here.
Oh, unfortunate.
But also, you're also giving Jordan the idea of he could potentially go for game. You have no counter.
Mm-hmm. And, you know, sometimes that's what you got to do. If you know you can guard the last swing and you need them to just go aggro and not establish any defenses, you got to take everything you can and just guard that last swing.
And looks like he considered on swinging 7 there. Regardless of what happens, Wimmy needs to block with the law here. If not, Jordan could potentially attempt to do a femur and attach the Don to go for game with the teach.
Yeah, I mean, it leaves him some good options. And right now he currently just has the. Oh no, he attached the extra Don
Yep,
to the
so
leader.
he's swinging 8 with his leader here.
So he's
Wimmy
just leaving 2
blocked.
for the fever.
Well, Wimmy blocks, and now it throws Jordan's plan all off here.
Yeah, but he was planning to leave it for the femur. Now it looks like it won't be needed.
Potentially use femur on the teach,
Yep,
and then
femur on the
still use
teach.
teach ability to attach 2 Don onto the Sengoku. Yep, so Wimmy takes the last life. Looks like he is opting to do teach ability and attach the last Don to the Sengoku, swinging for 5. And Wimmy has a counter here, so Wimmy looks like she will be taking the game here. Yep, and that is game. Wimmy taking the other round here.
Yep, she had the counter no matter what, because I believe she saw Jozu and she still had the Mihawk that we saw off the boa earlier that she rearranged with the boa effect.
All comes down to how the swing should have went. Maybe potentially swinging lower attack stat,
Yeah.
and then seeing if Wimmy would have taken those swings. But overall, very great matchup. Wimmy, obviously, the superior Dofi there. Sheki taking out the Shanks, which now the prizing for the 500
the pricing for the
gets
X1s
divvied
is
out.
phenomenal right now. I'm sure all the X1s are very happy.
Yeah, so very, very heated matchups that we saw here today. So ultimately, no undefeated leaving today, but a lot of X1s leaving with prizing.
A lot of good prizing still being given out. Very generous prizing.
And it just goes to show you there's a lot to gain from entering in this championship series.
Yeah, and then so again, as a reminder, don't forget March 25th, the next round or the next season will be starting, which will be the Set 10 meta OP10. So try and get into those pre-release events if you can, pick up the cards, do your trades, do what you got to do. But if you can, make it out to Nerd Rage. There's a lot of good stuff, a lot of good practice, prizing, and product. So you can find everything you need here.
And good people all around.
Oh yeah, friendly times definitely.
And as always, I know this week stream kind of cut off and we went back mid-time. The video will be put on the YouTube for when we started. It was a little late into Sheki's round, but that will be available on Nerd Rage's YouTube channel for you guys to check out.
Yeah, it wasn't too late, so it's not detrimental. I believe we only missed the 1 and 2 down turns, but yeah, you can watch the full match on YouTube.
To be able to get the full insight of what happened.
Oh, yeah.
But that is the end of the stream for today.
Yep.
Obviously, multiple winners, not just one. And we'll tune into you guys next time for the next stream.
Yep. Thank you, everybody.